for me, one of the things that I clearly am is optimistic and positive, but I'm disproportionately practical. The great fortune of my life was that I was born in the Soviet Union and I came to America and my parents were poor and we lived in a studio apartment with multiple family members and I wasn't given anything. And I genuinely believe the biggest issue for so many people in today's world to get to happiness, forget about how you define success from a money or business standpoint, is I just think most people are entitled. I think that most people are entitled and genuinely believe that they deserve something. And I think when you come from zero and you come from such a nasty place like Soviet Russia, the framework that I was brought up in was lack of entitlement, nobody owes you shit, and if you want to accomplish something, you've got to do something about it. And for me, because let me promise you something right now, like if you look to the left and right of you, like no matter what your problems or shortcomings or lack of opportunities are, the person to the left and right of you has their own life and aren't worried about your dumb shit because they've got their own dumb shit. And so for me, my mom basically, because my dad worked every hour, so I didn't really even know him until I started working in the liquor store as a teenager, my mom's lack of interest in any excuse created a framework for me. So for me, what's interesting about that is that made me positive, not negative. What's amazing about being in a place where you realize nothing is entitled is you get into a place of full accountability. Genuinely, I believe that every problem I have, I run a 1,000-person, $200 million marketing company, VaynerMedia, and literally every single problem in that company, and let me promise you, there's 40,000 fucking problems right this second as I'm on this stage. Every one of those problems are my fault because instead of what I watch so many people do and say, oh, fucking Susan's fucking up, I realized that I'm the fuckface that hired Susan. My friends, I'm coming out the gate here with a very important framework, which is I promise you that the second that you stop dwelling, stop worrying about shit that you cannot control, start realizing that everything fucked up is your fault, you actually get ridiculously happy, not upset. I mean it. Now, just to make sure there's no confusion, you're talking to somebody who was a Jewish guy born in the former Soviet Union where both my grandfathers went to jail, one for a decade, one for 2 years because he was Jewish. So I'm not talking about there isn't shit that needs to be overcome. I'm not saying that shit isn't fucked up. I'm saying that if you cry about it 24/7, 365, nothing's gonna happen. And so in that framework, here's my point. If there's any confusion to the following statement, there's a very significant chance that you won't go to the place you want to, which is this thing right here should fuck with your mind like you can't imagine. This computer that I'm holding in my hand is literally more powerful than the computer that President Reagan had to run the free world. This computer in my hand is connected to an internet that doesn't know who you are, where you came from, or what you're up to. The platforms on it, Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter and podcasting and YouTube, they don't care where you came from, who your grandpappy was, what you did yesterday. They're unemotional platforms that every person in this room can go on and start building something for themselves, and the cost is zero.